Just tucking you in here. I hope you don't mind. I'm feeling a little chatty tonight, so I thought I would just tuck you in, get you nice and comfy and cozy there under the blanket I've got for you. Hey, zap it up. Get you nice and comfy under the blanket. And if you don't mind, I'm just gonna speak to you for a little while. Hopefully help you rest and relax and, well, maybe just distract you a little bit until you're ready to fall asleep. I haven't really thought about what it is I wanted to talk to you about, but I'm sure I'll find something, and I'm sure whatever it is I do decide to talk about, you'll be eager and keen to listen, right? Right? There's no issue here if I just chat to you for a little while. I hope not. So, well, just sit back, relax. I've tucked you in, but of course, make sure that you do actually tuck yourself in. Unfortunately, I can't do it for you as much as I might like to, but make sure you actually get yourself nice and comfy and cozy and warm and snug in your bed. And get ready to just relax. And hopefully fall asleep. I actually had a bit of a difficult time falling asleep last night. I went to bed late, and then we had a sort of terrible thunderstorm happening. It's been really rather hot here lately, and I think what finally happened was all the heat and humidity finally caused a thunderstorm. But it was one of those dry thunderstorms, so it wasn't actually raining. There was just lightning and thunder happening constantly. And having gone to bed late and then waking up to hearing loud booms and crashes and flashes of light just kind of unsettled me. And so I wasn't able to sleep for a little while because waking up to loud booms and then not knowing if the next one was going to strike close or far away. And it's not even like as if I'm scared of thunderstorms. I actually rather quite like them, honestly. But I woke up last night and one loud boom had happened shortly after, and then all the power in the house went off. And so because it was hot, I had a fan on, and the fan turned off, and it was still humid and muggy. And so I was hoping that the power would come back on, but I could also hear like the power lines arcing. So I think the wind and the lightning had caused a branch to fall down onto one of the power lines in our neighborhood. was the power outage. But anyway, it made me have a sort of restless night's sleep. So I thought, what better way to make up for that than to help you get the sleep that you need. You know, I might be running on a little empty at the moment, but that doesn't mean I can't help you get to sleep first. You might also still be able to hear the breeze going on outside. It's been a windy few days, and I left the window behind me open, so hopefully you don't mind that. It's too hot to not do that, so I think I just needed to leave it open this time so we could sit here and just chat, and I wouldn't get too uncomfortable in the heat. How have you been lately? Talking about myself here and what's been going on with me, but how have you been? Has the weather been holding up nicely for you? It's not too wet or dry or hot or cold. I hope it's been treating you nicely. Have you been getting enough sleep lately? Making sure you're at least getting the proper amount. At least getting the proper amount of rest that you need. I know that's different for everyone. The exact amount of time that's needed to get a proper rest. For me, I know I like quite a lot of rest. I always make sure I get at least 8 hours, but I always feel like I need more than that. I always feel like I need like 9 or 10 hours sleep every day, otherwise I'm just so tired. I can of course function on less, but that's the amount that I like to get. So are you getting enough sleep? Or at the very least, are you making sure that you're taking time to rest? Taking the time to rest when you need it. You know, sometimes it helps just at the end of the day. Sometimes it helps just to unwind and turn everything off. You know, put our phones away, turn off all the lights, and just lay in bed and slowly unwind and relax. It helps to not have that distraction, that light blaring in your eyes. It can really be distracting and not let your brain turn off when you need it. It's why I always recommend dimming your devices, lighting, dimming the brightness down, most devices nowadays have a blue light filter too. You should always be turning that on. Especially when you're about to go to bed. And if you're still using your devices, like I assume you are now, I would be very surprised if you weren't on your phone or on your computer right now. If you are using your device and looking at it, I would hope that you've turned on any blue light filters and you've dropped the brightness down to a comfortable level. Have you been watching any TV lately? Catching up on any shows that you've missed out on? I know I have. I have a tendency not to actually watch a lot of TV shows. I'm the type that'll watch the same 5 shows over and over and over and over and over. I'll watch the same 5 shows over and over and over again. And I'm not usually one for experiencing any new TV. But something happened lately, I don't know what, and I've been really looking for new things to watch. And so, I don't know if you've seen this, but I only just recently watched it, and it was good because the season had just ended. The newest season had just ended. But I just decided to watch all of Invincible. And season 3 just ended. So it was really good timing for me to pick that up. And so I'm all caught up with it now. And really, really excited to see what happens next with that show. I was always a fan of Robert Kirkman's The Walking Dead, and so he's the writer for Invincible as well. At least the Invincible comic. I'm not sure if he participates on the show at all. He probably does in some way. But I was a very big fan growing up of the Walking Dead series, the TV show, the comic, the Telltale games. I absolutely loved The Walking Dead. It was honestly one of my favorite things. When the show was airing, that was when I was like participating in all the media around it. I actually kind of forgot how big of a fan I was. I remember trying to catch up the first 2 seasons so I could watch season 3 as it premiered, and how everyone would get together and talk about it. It would be the talk of everyone in my friend group. We all loved that show. was funny. I was the only one who had actually read the comic. And so I was listening to their predictions and their theories and things like that, and them wondering who was going to live and who was going to die, and having the answers and not being able to tell them what they were, if what they were thinking was true or not. It was good times. But yeah, the author of The Walking Dead also wrote the Invincible comics. And so of course I really liked the Invincible show because, well, if it's written anywhere near as good as what The Walking Dead was, then that makes sense. I'm actually thinking I might pick up the comic for that too and read that. It'll give me something to read. Do you like reading comics? I'm talking about like the classic American comic books. Is that something that you read a lot of? I myself am not really that big of a American comic book fan. I believe the only one that I really read that was a serialized one was The Walking Dead. If you couldn't tell, I'm actually more of a manga, a Japanese comic book reader. I have a lot of manga under my belt. And so I like the format, but I think because I read a lot of manga, I have the opposite problem of what most Western people have when they read Japanese manga. And that they read it, like they have to read it backwards to them. And so they end up confusing like the panels and they read it in the wrong order. Well, that's me when reading American comic books. I have a tendency to read it the wrong way because I'm so used to manga and the Japanese comics being the other way than what you're supposed to read. And so The Walking Dead was the only one that I really ever read, because I was reading that before I started reading a lot of manga, so it was kind of natural to me in the way that I read it. But picking up something now, I think I would just be confused. It's so like second nature to just read from right to left instead of left to right. Is that a problem that you have? Are there any comics or manga that you read that have ever confused you in the layout? Have you ever swapped? One day you're reading something from Japan and then the next day you're reading something from America and you just confuse yourself. Is that something you've ever done? I know it's definitely something I do. But I'm hoping I can pick up Invincible and read it and hopefully not have any issues. But it's really good. And if you're looking Invincible. I would recommend it. It's very good. It's very good. Are you starting to get sleepy? Are your eyelids getting heavy? Is it getting harder and harder to keep your eyes open? That's a good thing. It's good. If you are struggling to keep those eyes open, I recommend just letting them stay shut. It's okay. You're not missing out on much. Hey, there's not a lot going on here. You're not missing out on anything. If anything, you'd be gaining. You would be gaining by closing your eyes. You'd be getting ever so much closer to resting. You'd be that much closer to resting with your eyes closed. And speaking of TV shows, because I finished Invincible, because all 3 seasons have now been watched by me, I was looking for a new show to watch, and I think I've decided on one. I watched the first 2 episodes today, so no spoilers please, but I've been watching, I've decided to start watching Severance, which is another really well talked about TV show. A lot of people are praising and raving about how good it is. I decided to give it a go. And I'll tell you what, those first 2 episodes are definitely intriguing. I'm very curious to see where this show goes. So, maybe if you're looking for something to watch, that might be an idea too. And then maybe we could come back and I could tuck you into bed again and maybe we could discuss the show. That might be a fun, neat idea. Is there anything else that you would recommend to me? Any shows that you've been watching lately that are at the top of your list for recommendations? Anything you're watching? Whether it's a critically acclaimed show or maybe even it's just your comfort show and you're on your 700th, sorry, I messed that right up, 700th watching of The Office. Admit it, we all do it. We all just watch The Office on repeat. I won't shame you for that. I know we all do it. You know, it's either The Office or it's Friends or it's shows like that nowadays. The repeatable, always airing sitcoms. I feel like they definitely still exist. Shows like that, but they're nowhere near the same level of popularity that they used to be. You know, I remember you had The Office and Parks and Recreation and Arrested Development and My Name is Earl, How I Met Your Mother, and all those sitcoms airing. And then I feel like all of a sudden just everyone's interest in them just went away, and they're not that big of a deal anymore. It's a strange thought. Because yeah, I always had one of those shows playing. I think I may have mentioned this before, but I didn't have home internet when I was growing up, and so I would always get as much content as I could and store it on my laptop, and so I had loads of TV shows and movies. And I would just watch those shows on repeat because I had them. And it was easy entertainment. Rather unfortunate that there's not shows like that anymore. But it also, I guess, makes sense. We don't really watch TV in the way that we used to. It's all sort of changed. It's all changed. It's also been a while since I've gone to the theatre and watched anything there. I actually think the last movie I went and saw was Sonic 3. I think that was the last movie I saw in cinemas. And then before that probably was Sonic 2. Like, it's not very often that I go to the theatre and watch something nowadays. But I feel like that's also just because there's not really anything good on. Is there anything that you've seen? Is there anything that you've seen lately? Any film you've gone to see that was just a fun, enjoyable time? It didn't let you down, wasn't a disappointment? Because I feel like that happens quite a lot. Because even with the movie that I went and saw, Sonic, I knew I was going into a bad film. Well, not a bad film, but I knew what I was getting into. It's not, S-class, 10 out of 10 cinema. We're talking about your run-of-the-mill kids film that's, aimed at people who are not in my demographics. It's aimed at kids. I'm definitely not one of those anymore. But I did enjoy it. I went and saw it with my mate. And he hated the film. He did not like it at all. And, I enjoyed it because I knew what I was getting into, but I don't think he knew what he was getting into. But, other than that, there's not a lot. I can't think of the last time I was excited about a film coming out. I know, well, I guess by the time that this comes out, it would be out. I know there's the Minecraft. I can't say it without laughing. I know there's the Minecraft movie coming out. That'll date this video, if anybody's watching in future. But I know there's that film coming out. And, I'm not excited for it at all. And I don't even know if I want to see it. I have just a strong feeling it's going to be terrible. But that's why I want to go see it, because I know it'll be bad. Sometimes it's fun just to go and see those fun bad movies. Just to watch a film. Just to make fun of it. It's such a dumb, boring film that it's actually enjoyable to laugh at. Movies like The Room, for example, is the peak of that genre. And another one is Birdemic, which is a film I absolutely love to hate. One of my mates for his birthday, he put on Birdemic without telling us what it was. He wanted us to come over so we could watch some films for his birthday. And he put on Birdemic, didn't tell us what it was, and then we went through the opening credits of that film, only to hear the first spoken word immediately pause the film, and just all of us looked at each other like we had no clue what had just happened. It's honestly atrocious. It's so bad. It's such a bad film. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I highly recommend just finding it and just watching until the first person speaks. Just watch the film until you hear the first spoken word, and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. It's so bad. But I'm hoping, I hope the Minecraft movie is kind of like that. It's just like fun bad. Because if it is, then I will go see it. And I'll probably go with a bunch of mates so we can laugh and have a fun time, because, I'm the age range of people that absolutely love Minecraft. It came out when I was, at the perfect time for me. Spent my entire teenage years playing Minecraft, and still play it to this day, honestly. I've talked about quite a few times playing that game. Is that something that you do? Are you much of a gamer yourself, playing Minecraft? Or are you not really into that sort of stuff? You into other things? I've been going on about pop culture, and movies and TV shows and video games, because that's the stuff that I know. It's the hobbies that I engage with and deal with and participate with. And I feel like nowadays it's pretty universal. Even if you don't strictly do those things all the time, you're at least aware. You're at least aware of what they are. Maybe it's weird hearing someone talk about them all the time when you yourself don't participate. Well, I guess you could tell me, is there a hobby that you have that's different? Something that you like doing in your spare time, in your free time, that isn't, watching movies or playing video games, or reading manga or comics or anything like that? Are you one for camping and going for hikes? Or maybe when you get bored you go down to the gym, get in a workout. Perhaps you're a surfer, or maybe you play sport. Maybe just going down to your local coffee shop, just sitting and taking in the environment. I know a hobby that I don't participate in, but a lot of people do, is that of music. Concerts and clubs and things like that. Is that something you do? Are you a concert goer or an enjoyer of that type of thing? I'm way out of my element talking about it. I've never been a fan of concerts. It's just not really something I was ever really into. I, of course, listen to music like everybody does. I listen to music. But going somewhere to listen to it, instead of just doing it in the comfort of my own home, or seeing a performance live, was just not anything I ever really thought about doing. It's nothing I enjoy. So if I was to sit here and listen to someone, I guess it would be interesting. I guess it would be interesting to hear about. Now that I think about it, hearing a completely different perspective of someone who does something that I just don't do. It would really interest me to hear about that. It would really interest me. So hopefully that means if I would be interested in hearing about concerts and music and festivals and stuff like that, from someone who does those things. Hopefully me being a nerd, talking about video games and movies and TV shows and all that nerd stuff. Hopefully for someone who doesn't participate in that stuff, hopefully it's still relaxing and distracting to listen to it. Listen to me talk about it. You're probably very sleepy right now. You're probably very sleepy right now, if you're not already asleep. So I think what I might do is let you go to bed. I think I will let you get the rest that you need now. So it's okay. You can go to sleep. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed listening to me just ramble on and talk about whatever it was that came to mind. If that was something you needed, I hope it helped and you're able to get some rest now. You know, if it did its job, you should be asleep. But if you are still awake and here with me, thank you ever so much. Thank you ever so much for watching. I appreciate the company. I appreciate you hanging out with me. You know, it means a lot just to have you here, resting, sort of near me, letting me talk to you. I appreciate it quite a lot. So good night, 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 Bozo. Good night. Sleep tight.